Hello, good morning. It's 9:45 on Friday. I'm TK, and this is Coach on the Rocks. Ah, boy, Friday. I'm so happy that it's here, and hopefully you're also looking forward to Friday and the weekend. And as always, on Friday mornings, I'm talking about the episode of our podcast, Leading with Agility, that you can find on your favorite podcast player. The episode has just released about should work feel like family? Um, the episode starts with, the thoughts of the CEO of Airbnb, but I won't go into that because I think what tends to happen on this show is like me reflecting after the podcast conversation and having some additional thoughts. Do listen to it. I think it's another great conversation. Highly recommend it. But one of the thoughts I had, and one thing I've said there, which I would like to expand on, is like naturally we gravitate, and many people treat organizations like families, more on it, about it on a podcast, and it's not always appropriate, more about it on a podcast. But what I thought is it would be cool to have a library of organizational paradigms, archetypes per se, be it in teams or there's actually some in teams, but in terms of the wider organization, what's the relationship between you and your employees or the people who are collaborating with you is not always straightforward. And, there are models, but they aren't that widely and universally known to be able to be, something that we would use as a easy shorthand, a household concept, like for instance a family is, or we talk a bit about mafia or heist crews or the military in our podcast. And what happens is there's a lot of messiness. There is a lot when it comes to your relationship with your employees, your employees with you. Every organization is different. Everything is a compounded, tangled, multidimensional mess of assumptions, cultures, people's attitudes, misunderstandings, half-truths, all that. And as someone that, likes to keep things ordered and organized, some like it, myself, I'm sure with my viewers, my original thought when I was exploring and reflecting on that would be like, okay, why shouldn't we use a taxonomy? Just have things very clear, well understood, and so on. And my reflection took me to a place that I don't think it's realistic, because this particular messiness of human relationship systems is something that's inherent to who we are, right? We thrive in these surprising and messy relationship situations. We're tuned to build them. They're constantly shifting, very informal, reflecting many things, and it causes a lot of misunderstanding. It causes a lot of, I would say, even suffering in many cases. And yet, it's just a natural part of human nature. I don't think that as much as I and other people that think similarly like to keep things ordered and organized, it's something that can be done. I don't even know if I really want to be in an ordered and organized human-to-human system all the time. If everything's set, it must feel like a cage, right? Even though naturally I have this tendency of doing that, this might be a challenge. So this is why, as an organizational leadership coach, like when I practice OSC, it's my job to help people reveal the system to itself. So, people understand where they are. So at least with all this mess and entanglement, you are able to know where you are, where you want to be, where you want to go, what is the type of relationship you want to have, knowing that it's always a complex adaptive system and always a moving target. That's that thought that I believe we will never have a proper audit system at first was a bit frightening, right? I would love to be able to set proper relationships with you, my viewers, with people that collaborate with me, and so on. But recently, even before the podcast, I was reminded that it isn't as easy. So we had a situation where, we are collaborating with people, and I've used the metaphor with them, and don't laugh about it, as that, they're a heist crew. We're all a heist crew doing a bit of a heist, which you might want to use an archetype of a project team of independent experts. And at one point, as we were repeating the heist, we didn't bring one of the criminals along because we thought, hey, that we want to try something else with some other people. And it was a surprise for many people, which we found quite late after the heist itself. So even though I thought I was clear about the relationship we were having, people weren't entirely. They were surprised. Why is this person not here? And it just shows that, you can never be fully explicit, and I don't think you ever should. I think, as humans, we just need to accept it. And if you're well organized like I am, get off it a bit and suck it up, as they say. If you like the messiness, well, congratulations, that's the human nature. I don't want to say everything needs to lie in balance, but we need to learn how to swim in this multi-dimensional, messy, tangly maze of our relationships at work. And by relationships, I mean how organizationally people interact, right? We might not be a family, although there are some organizations that most certainly are apt and will benefit from it. Some organizations just say it. Some others say it and do their best. I think, Sainsbury's has this family culture. It's not necessarily a family, but, they do their best if you ask their employees with their wonderful orange hats. So many models, so many things to think about, and so much work for us, organizational coaches and leadership coaches, to be able to help people understand where they are and how to untangle or change things in this tangled mess of relationships in organizations and leadership. But maybe Fridays are not the best time to do the untangling. Might be a good time to listen to the episode and have your own reflections. Do let me know, do send me a comment, maybe even recommend the podcast to a friend or review it. We most certainly will appreciate. But for now, all the best for Friday and the weekend. I will see you back on Monday for the next episode of Coach on the Rocks. Bye bye.